Hi, I'm Jean Picker-Furstenberg, Chair of the Search Committee for the Board of Trustees. I'm delighted to be back at this magnificent university with a glorious campus. Thanks to all of you for being here. We know that you make up a remarkable community, and we want to hear from each and every part of that community so you can help us make the very best decision on who should be the next president of San Marcos. Between now and the end of the academic year, Chancellor White and the search consultants will be working together to recruit and seek nominations and applications of highly qualified individuals. Then the full committee will review resumes, identify candidates, and interview in the spring. And believe it or not, the final candidates will meet with the Board of Trustees at our March board meeting. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. First, I'd like all of the committee members to introduce themselves. We've just met each other and have done this a couple of times, so we're used to it. But let me start off by saying that I had the honor of being appointed to the board of CSU 3 years ago, March. And it has been the highest honor of my life to serve on this board. I think Cal State is an incredible combination of 23 campuses, changing 480,000 lives a year. And I am so honored to have been asked to chair this search committee because it is our greatest responsibility. Having just met some of your representatives on this committee, they clearly are deeply committed to this institution, and we all want to hear what you have to say today. So I will turn to my right and Deborah Farrar and ask her to introduce herself.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Deborah Farrar, and I have been on the board, as our chancellor likes to say, since the last century, which would be 1999. It has been a privilege, and as most of my colleagues will agree, it's the finest thing that I will ever do or have done. I was actually a part of President Haynes' search. I was on that search committee too as well. So I have, you know, as Jean said, this is, as a board of trustees, the most important thing we do is to select the leadership for all 23 of our campuses, because that is what makes the difference in our system and makes us a quality system. Anyway, I'm very, very pleased to be here today. I'm very honored to be here on this search, and we will all work very hard towards this, and we will move forward and be very successful. I'm very sure about that.
Hello all, I'm Sue Moino. I am a professor in the Department of Speech-Language Pathology. I've been at Cal State San Marcos for 13 years. I'm the founding faculty member in my department. I currently serve as the chair of the Academic Senate, and I look forward to hearing from all of you in what you're looking for in our next president.
Hello, I'm Jack McGrory from San Diego. I've been a member of the Board of Trustees since this past March, and I've been with the CSU system since 1975 when I got out of the Marine Corps, Camp Pendleton, and got my MPA at San Diego State, got my law degree, and then my first teaching assignment at San Diego State was at the San Diego State University Annex in San Marcos. And I taught, I would drive up from San Diego in my little MG, hopefully it wouldn't break down, and teach this course in an elementary school. And I said, this is not the right place for a university course. But I've been involved with San Diego State for a long time. I was chair of the Campanile Foundation and taught there for 25 years, and love the CSU system. First generation college student myself, and the CSU system is just a phenomenal public university, and San Marcos has become a great university in its own right. Thank you.
Hello, San Marcos. Oops, it working? Hello? Nope. Ah, now it works. Hello, San Marcos. Christine Vaughn from the Office of Communications. I've been working on this university for 8 years. And before that, I was a student, and so I'm an alumna of Cal State San Marcos and care deeply about Cal State San Marcos. Kidding. And representing your voices on this committee.
Good afternoon. My name is Boone Amara. I'm Associate Professor of Music and Chair of the Music Department. I'm also Faculty Director within the Office of Inclusive Excellence. I've been here since 2001. I am also a product of the CSU, first generation student, graduated from San Francisco State. And so I want to bring my experience to, I'm proud, first of all, to be a part of this committee and to deal with the tremendous responsibility of trying to bring another leader here who has vision and compassion.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juan Garcia. I am currently a third-year political science major at Cal Poly Pomona, and I was recently appointed to serve as one of the 2 students on the Board of Trustees. I look forward to serving in this capacity and being part of this process because, as my colleagues on the board have stated, this is probably the most important responsibility of the Board of Trustees. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Jackie Trishman. I am a professor in chemistry and biochemistry here on the campus, and I have been academic senate chair, and in fact, I was the chair when President Haynes came, and vice chair with President Gonzalez, and then the interim and heading in chair with President Haynes, so saw a great diversity of styles there. And hopefully, I want to bring somebody who really matches kind of where we are, and I look forward to working with all of you to really get the sense of that.
My name is Butch Murphy. I'm currently on the tribal council for the Pichanga Band of Liseño Indians. Prior to that, and that's been the last 20 years. Prior to that, I was a high school teacher. And prior to that, I worked for the University of California, San Diego Outreach Services for 12 years. And in order to save a little face from sneers I got this morning when I mentioned I was also a UC grad, I will mention I got my secondary teaching credential from Cal State San Bernardino, and I worked for a number of years on a master's program called a community-based block program at San Diego State University. Looking forward to serving on this committee and hopefully come up with the best that Cal State San Marcos can possibly get as a president.
Good afternoon. I am Patricia Prado Olmos. I am the Vice President for Community Engagement, and I have been at Cal State San Marcos since 1997. I came as an assistant professor in multicultural, multilingual education in the College of Education at the time, and worked to help prepare teachers and educational leaders. I am also a product of the UC, Butch, so don't feel so bad. But I very deliberately chose to make my career in the CSU and in public education because of my commitment to equity, to inclusiveness, and to access. And I have found I've been able to do that here at Cal State San Marcos, and I want to help us find a leader with your input that will allow many others to fulfill their careers and dreams here as well.
My name is Jeremy Addis Mills. I'm an alumni of Cal State San Marcos. I graduated here in 2007, before this building existed. And I'm really excited to be a part of this. Cal State San Marcos, as it is for many of the students I see probably sitting out there, was a pivotal moment in my life. President Haynes was here the whole time. He's been here the whole time since I graduated, and I'm really excited. I was excited then to be a part of the foundation of what was being built at Cal State San Marcos as a student and as an alumni, and now I'm really excited to be a part of this process of what the next chapter for this campus is going to look like. So I'm super excited to be here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joe Kralik. I'm here with the search firm.
Hi, everyone. Katie Mitchell-Crosley with Isaacson Miller, the search firm.
And my name is David Belsch. I'm with the search firm.
I'm Lars Walden. I'm Chief of Staff to Chancellor White. Chancellor White would normally be here today, but he is homesick. In my 11 years of working with him, I think this is, I can count on my left hand the number of sick days. I know he is watching on the live stream, so if everyone can tell him to get well, that would help us. But sorry that he's not here. He will be following up with the committee.
Good afternoon. My name is Soka Hewitt from the Chancellor's Office, supporting Chancellor White.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jack Raymond. I chair your Cal State San Marcos Foundation Board. And for those who gave this week on Giving Day, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ellen Junn. I serve on the search committee as the representative from the Council of Presidents of the CSU. So I come to hail to you from Cal State Stanislaus, and I have deep roots with the CSU, having served 32 years in variety capacities among 6 campuses total. And it's so wonderful to see so many people here today to share. We're here to listen and to hear what qualities and characteristics that you envision for your next president, following the magnificent Karen Haynes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tony Jackson. I am, after 36 years, retired from the United States Marine Corps as a Major General. President Haynes recruited me to come to Cal State San Marcos and to be a member of the board, on the foundation board with Jack Raymond. I am now the vice chair of that board. She's moved me right up the chain of command. You know? And I'm supposed to succeed Jack in this July 1st. I am a resident of the community of Fallbrook, just up the road. I graduated from San Jose State. I got my MA from San Jose State, and I'm an honorary doctorate from San Jose State. I have deep roots within the foundation, and I love, I think they're shutting me off already. Everyone. You have an extraordinary leader in your university, and I'm honored to play a part in trying to find her successor.
Hey y'all, my name is Savannah Dodar. I'm a 4th-year student here. I'm a political science major, women's studies minor, and I'm the president of Associated Students Incorporated, and I'm very happy to be sitting on the search committee and representing and empowering the student voice.
We're going to be spending several hours with you. We're very interested in what you think, what you care about. We also ask that you be considerate so that we can hear from as many of you as possible. What we want to know is, what do you want in your next president? What's special about this place? There's so much. What should be preserved? What might be changed? We want to hear from you. Chancellor White is a remarkable leader. He would be here if he could. But to fill in his very big shoes, we've asked Deborah to express some of the things he might have said to you. Go for it.
Thank you. Well,
it's on.
Is it on?
Yeah,
okay, great. Again, I just want to talk a little bit about confidentiality and how we do our searches for everyone. The first thing I want to say, and the Chancellor would say this if he was here, confidential doesn't mean secret. It means that because of the executive nature of this position, both candidates and the trustees expect to conduct the search in a confidential mode. This is done for a reason. We will have the lives and futures of candidates in our hands in this search. That said, we are looking for a person that may be a leader on his or her campus. It could be a sitting president. It could be a member of a campus that doesn't necessarily want their community or campus to know that they're involved in a search going someplace else. It's not that they don't like the place, but in the past, when this had happened, they would have to, and they didn't get the position, they would have to go back to their campus or community, and it would be, it's like, you know, you didn't want me, you wanted someone else, and now you're back because you didn't get that person, if you can think of it. So in order to attract and draw the best possible candidates, people that really want to be at this campus, we have to keep the search confidential. That said, the search will be inclusive. I have been involved with many, many searches, as you can imagine, over all the years. And I have never once, I can't think of a single instance where at the end of the day, when the new candidate was selected, everyone felt that they were heard from and that there was consensus, and everyone was very satisfied with the search process. So we will see. I would be real curious. You remember I said that, and we'll see in March if everybody feels that way. I'm confident they will. The committee will have full transparency, and they will serve as your representatives in this process. That's why we're here today, to hear from you. Any candidate that is worth its weight will review this webcast, and at any time it's archived. Anybody can see this. Also, you have representatives, each of your group, that are on this search committee, and they will depend on you. They want to hear from you about what you want and what's going to happen in the process. They need your input, and they will use it. Also, I want to say that when we do eventually choose a candidate, your job doesn't stop there. You will need to come forward and support that candidate, your group, in every way possible. So if we're not all happy and satisfied, maybe that, you know, that wouldn't be a possibility, but it will be. We really want to hear your feedback and what you're looking for in the next president, and I think you understand that. And as Jean said, we're going to listen. We take it very, very serious. Any messages sent to any of your representatives will be taken very seriously and brought before the committee. It's sometimes, in the past, we've had committee members come forward, and you can't believe that they're giving us every little comment. It's like, okay, we get it, you know, but they always represent their group. It's critical. That said, and I'll turn to Lars if I haven't covered everything about confidentiality that the Chancellor would have wanted to know. Just to let you know, it is just critical that you lend your voice and support to the process today and throughout the search. Lars?
Sure. So real quick, in addition to the live stream, this forum today will be archived on the search committee website on the San Marcos homepage. So you'll be able to find it on the campus website. It's going to make me do this real quick. For those of you that are watching live that would like to provide feedback, you can provide that via a confidential email address, which is presidentsearch, so presidentsearch@calstate.edu. That's a confidential email that you can provide. What your thoughts on candidates, potential nominations, any feedback that you would like, and the committee will receive that. So if you're not in the audience today, don't have the opportunity to speak before the committee, you can continue to provide that feedback throughout the search process. And otherwise, I think you covered everything.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, it's your turn. So please come to both microphones if you'd like to say something. And please be courteous to each other and allow as many people as possible that we want to hear from. So take it away.
Thank you very much. I'm wondering if the microphone is going to cut out after 30 seconds.
We hope these two don't.
It's not personal.
Yes. Thank you. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. My name is Emiliano Ayala. I'm Dean for the College of Education, Health, and Human Services. I do have some prepared remarks, so I'll refer to those. We'd like to thank Chancellor White and the trustees for their commitment to this presidential search and your ongoing support of our campus, of course, the trustees as well. I also want to thank the advisory group for their service and support of this pivotal presidential search. On behalf of the Leadership Council for the College of Education, Health, and Human Services, which includes our deans, school directors, and department chairs, we'd like to highlight 3 important points that we hope might be considered by the search and advisory committees as they reflect on the needs of one of the four colleges on our campus. First, we seek a president who will support and expand our community partnerships that are instrumental in providing the diverse field-based clinical experiences, locations for observation and practice, and internships that our students require to advance their professional preparation. Many of our programs in CEHHS have deep ties and long-standing relationships with K-12 schools, area hospitals and clinics, health and human service agencies, and profit and nonprofit groups who all open their doors to our students. These community partners provide mentors, supervisors, guides, preceptors, and other experts that complement our work and instruction. We feel it is important that our new president recognize and support these community partnerships that actually have increasingly been strained to accommodate our CSUSM students due to fiscal, policy, and legal impacts. Second, we seek a new president who understands the complex needs of a college that has numerous approved professional accredited programs. These professional associations govern much of our work and ultimately acknowledge the quality of our graduates. We feel it is important that our new president has a clear understanding of the unique demand that accreditation has on our faculty, staff, and leadership, and the associated curricular and fiscal implications of maintaining accredited professional preparation programs. Finally, we seek a president who understands the unique relationship that our college has with extended learning. CEHHS has the largest portfolio of programs in extended learning, and with that large footprint comes a complex series of opportunities, challenges, and priorities. While we maintain a strong relationship with extended learning, we feel it is important, very important, that our new president understand the myriad facets and intricacies of a college that includes a mix of self-support and state-supported programs if we hope to continue thoughtfully supporting students who might not otherwise have access to higher education. Our college appreciates your consideration on these important points as you seek a new president for our campus that will support the academic mission of our university. Thank you for this time, and thank you for the opportunity to speak at this open forum.
Thank you, Dean. I'm just going to go in a circle. Okay.
Good afternoon. As president of Transitions Collective, a student organization that supports and advocates for formerly incarcerated students, on behalf of Transitions, we are looking for a president who's going to be continuing the efforts of Project Rebound, so a program that's going to support and provide resources for formerly incarcerated and system-impacted individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
Hello, my name is Kim Knowles Yanez. I'm chair of the Liberal Studies Department and a faculty member. I am in the College of Humanities, Arts, and Behavioral and Social Sciences, along with Tafiti on your committee. One of the things I'd like to see in our new president is someone with really strong budget skills who's able to look at our budget holistically. I've been really concerned over the past few years with the feeling within my side of the university that the academic side of the university is not receiving its fair share of resources. If you had an opportunity to look at the nitty-gritty of schedule building within the college, you'd see that the amount of students per class continues to grow over time significantly. So we're packing our classes with more students than even in the recent past. The other way that I'm concerned the academic side of the house might be suffering in budget terms is that we have so few majors available for students on our campus. For a university of this size, I think we should be able to offer more majors to our students than what we currently have. But right now, we're just holding on, trying to, schedule classes for the existing majors. So I'd appreciate someone who can look at the intricacies of the academic offerings, class size, et cetera. And maybe we are actually receiving our fair share of resources within the context of a CSU, but maybe not. And if we aren't, I'd appreciate someone who can come in, look at the budget, perhaps restructure and put more money on the front lines for students in their classrooms and as they choose majors. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Arun Raman. I'm an assistant professor of biology. I also serve as the president of the LGBTQA Faculty Staff Association on our campus. And my statement has to deal with inclusivity and diversity on our campus. The statement reads, under the leadership of Dr. Haynes, our campus has made significant strides towards inclusive excellence. However, in light of recent campus-wide hate speech poster incidents, microaggressions, and our national and global political climate, I feel that our campus needs a leader who has a vision towards not just embracing and celebrating, but most importantly, protecting inclusiveness and diversity on our campus. So I want to ensure that the committee is aware and is committed to ensuring that our new leader embodies inclusivity and diversity. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Hammerly. I'm the Dean of the College of Business Administration here at the university. I'm a first-generation college student and a 15-year employee of the university. I want to reinforce a point that Emiliano made, which is our relationship with the business community and community at large. Our college has very strong interactions. We probably have relationships with over 1,000 for-profit and nonprofit organizations. We rely upon them not simply for educational, but also for employment and for mentoring. So we have a large cadre of professional mentors that we draw from the community that assists our students in professional and personal development. I want to also reinforce the need for accreditation efforts. Our college is undergoing a very strong emphasis on achieving an accreditation requirement that is essential to the strategic and long-term financial success of our college. It is an expensive proposition. We know how to fund it. We just need to make sure that the new president understands the importance and the strategic importance of that in our future, in the future of our college. And then finally, I want to share a number with you that I use all the time when I speak publicly in front of the community, which is the number 85%. Just a quick reminder, I think you know this, but 85% of our students come from the region. Upon graduation, 85% stay in the region, accept jobs in the regions, which is great for a business dean, by the way. So when I go out and speak, I don't have to worry about bleed out outside of the area. And then 85% of our students work, the majority of which work full-time. And I mention this only because even though the graduation initiative is something that is near and dear to our heart, it does place enormous stress on both the college and our students, who are especially those that are working full-time, carrying a full student load. As I'm sure many of you are aware, they're paying their way through school. It's rare that their parents or family members are supporting them. So they have unique challenges that many non-first-generation college students face. And I just would hope that the president would take that into consideration. One final point, just if you're familiar with the freshman initiatives that we do surveys of all of our incoming students, and along the path, the top three, 85% of our students, that same 85%, the top three initiatives that students, reasons for attending a public university and getting an advanced degree, getting a degree beyond high school, is really to improve their financial standing in life, and that's very important to us. So we place a very heavy emphasis, particularly on the bottom third of our students, in providing professional and personal development opportunities, particularly earlier in their academic career. So not just simply academic progression, but also personal and professional progression. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Sir.
Hello, my name is Armando Zaragoza. I'm a student here at Cal State San Marcos. So for me personally, one of my roles here on campus is I work for one of our social justice centers here on campus. So for a president, one of the things I feel we should be looking for is someone who empowers student voices in a way that they can actually implement change on our campus. A lot of our centers, including the one I work at, the Gender Equity Center, actually came about through student involvement, through student advocacy. So having a president that can really reinforce that idea would be ideal. The other thing would be a president who is passionate about mental health as well. Serving as the Active Minds president, having presented to the Board of Trustees a few weeks ago, we did talk about mental health. We did talk about the importance of mental health. So having a president who sees the need for the events that's being done by our student health and counseling services, our organizations that focus on mental health, would be ideal as well. Also, a president who's very supportive of our Greek life here on campus. Our Greek life has been very unique in that they are doing big things, even though we do not have a very huge Greek life for typical universities. So really having a president who sees the benefits of having Greek organizations on campus, seeing the work that they're doing, giving them the recognition they deserve, and being more open-minded to allowing more Greek organizations on our campus. And then finally being the Cal State San Marcos student champion for inclusive excellence and diversity. For me, I want a president who's really passionate about this work, who's encouraging students to be proactive in this work, who's encouraging staff and faculty to keep this in mind in their teaching styles and the way they're interacting with students would be ideal as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alejandra Sanchez. I work in the Office of Academic Programs. I've been employed at this university for 15 years. I am also a graduate from this institution, and I have multiple hats. I do a lot of volunteer work on campus. One of those is being the chapter vice president for the CSUEU union. And I want to make a quick comment that on the trustees' policy, it states that the staff representative is supposed to be elected by the staff, but we had no choice. We were supposed to apply, get our MPP's approval, and then a committee selected the representative, but staff were not provided the opportunity to vote on who was the staff rep. Like, I know Christine, so I know that I'm gonna be knocking on her door, giving you, our feedback, coming from me, because I know you and I feel comfortable coming to you. But I just wanted to make that comment to everybody that we were not provided the opportunity. Another thing, or something that I would like to see in the president, is to have, to be open to the opportunity to have communication lines open with the unions, not just CSUEU, but all unions on our campus. So that would be a really important thing, because we have a lot of members a lot of employees on campus that belong to a union. So it would be great to have some sort of communication lines open and work all together, inclusive of everybody, and have everybody's voice heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ed Scarpelli. I currently serve here on the Advisory Council to President Karen Haynes, and have served for the past 11 years. I also am an executive who is retired but has come back to education, and in particular serving as a executive in residence coach and a mentor on this campus. I'd like to address with this committee what I think is a very important, critical element of the new president, And that is that that president understands the demographics of our student body, and that has a empathy for that student body and understands deeply the special needs that are required in dealing with 50% of our students first time in their family to go to college, students coming out of the foster care system, veterans returning from active duty, and the issues that they deal with. Karen Haynes, our current president, has done a tremendous job in the area of recognizing this demographic. And these programs that we have to aid our student body are fantastic. It's going, the new president is going to have some very hard shoes to fill. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
How do you do? I'm Hillary Taylor. I've been a staff member for 12 years here. 3 thoughts come to mind. The first is I'm on the Jewish Faculty Staff Association, and as part of that work, like Arun, we really want diversity and retention, not only recruitment, but also retention, and staff retention and recruitment for diversity is a particular sticking point. The second issue is more and more connections with our feeder community colleges. We have our North County Higher Education Alliance with our 2 feeder community colleges, and I believe that could be more robust given that many of our students are transfer. For example, the Associate Degree for Transfer program here is still more passive than active. And the third point is I'm also the language requirement advisor, which, as you may know, is no longer a requirement for multiple reasons. But I think many of us are concerned that this reflects perhaps that our students may not have some global or intercultural awareness upon graduation. I know there's a diversity requirement that's been added to many classes, and obviously many of us are devoted to diversity and equity. But losing the language requirement has caused a massive ripple effect. So it's just something to consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Glenn Brodowski, and I have had the privilege of being on this campus for 23 years as a faculty member in the College of Business. And I had the privilege of representing this campus on the statewide academic senate for 14 of those years. So I bring to this some system-wide perspective, and that is I always found myself coming back from statewide meetings saying, thank goodness I work on the San Marcos campus. And I mean that seriously because I have heard stories about other campuses in terms of climate, in terms of the relationship between administration, faculty, and staff. Now, while it's not a walk in the park every day on this campus, compared to most campuses, not only in the system and statewide, I think that we handle our disagreements and work together towards solutions in a way that is enviable to other campuses in the system. So what I'm hoping for in the next president is somebody who recognizes what a privilege it is to work on a campus that is so healthy at this point, thanks very much in part to the work of the 3 presidents I've served with, Presidents Stacy, Gonzalez, and Karen Haynes, and my colleagues on the faculty and staff over the many years. And I want a president who comes in to build upon that and recognize that that is the foundation of who we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir.
I'm Richard High. I've been involved with the university for quite a while. I've been on the university council for probably 15 or 20 years and have been was here before, involved before Karen came, and have been amazed by the progress she has ushered. My impression is that a university and large institutions like the university are prone to drift. And left to themselves, things will stabilize and just kind of edge forward and ultimately not go very far. And Karen is the exact opposite of that. She has been a leader who had a very clear sense of purpose that wasn't obvious at the outset and has become clearer and clearer as time has gone on. She is so dedicated to the idea that this university needs to be open to all students, and really seriously committed to the idea of equity and inclusion. Now, that is not the case across the system, and this university stands out as a, I will call it a beacon, but you could argue a depression in the university system, depending on your point of view. But I think it's a beacon, and it will not stay that way unless you have a leader who is, first place, dedicated and a serious person who's willing to step on toes and make changes and push hard. And Karen was that kind of a person. We need another person like that. And secondly, you need all the other skills that make that possible, to make it effective. It's one thing to push, another thing to actually have something change. And she's a wonderful change agent, and I think to maintain and grow what this university has, it's going to take an extraordinary person. Now, she's obviously had some effect at a state level, just judging by the number of women presidents we now have. That was one of her projects. And she and many other people, she could have that kind of an influence through time, and she had that kind of an influence here. And I'm amazed by what's possible in what otherwise would be a situation of I would say, stability, quality, stability. We don't want that. We want quality movement, and we want a progress forward, particularly in the direction she set out. So that's my hope. And I hope you can come up with somebody that good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Celeste Espinal. I am a senior here at Cal State San Marcos, and I'm also one of the 4 college representatives for the College of Humanities, Arts, Behavior, and Social Sciences. And I'm here to voice the concern of many of my peers. As a member of Transitions Collective, we conducted a survey, and we got 548 responses, and out of those responses, 8.2% of students said that they have been previously incarcerated, and out of those responses, 70.2% of students stated that they are a system-impacted individual, which means that they have a close friend or a family member that has been previously incarcerated or is currently incarcerated. So we would just like, we would like to have a precedent again that will keep pushing forward to have Project Rebound being established here on campus as a long-term program that would help those individuals who are system impacted. And also we would like a president who would create open spaces for students to put up artwork that is expressing their circumstances, how they feel being a first-generation college student, how they feel being a minority, how they feel about social injustices, creating open spaces for students to express this. And also, we conducted a survey asking about food insecurity, and we found that the majority of our students have faced food insecurity at some point or are currently facing food insecurity. And ASI started an initiative 2 years ago, and just last year the Cougar Pantry was established. We're looking for a president who would make sure that the efforts towards fighting food insecurity and having mental health programs and encouraging students to seek out these resources would be there, and not just a president who would promote diversity and inclusion, but would be really proactive about diversity and inclusion, because we know that most of the centers that we have on campus that are social justice fighting centers, like the Gender Equity Center, the LGBT, the Pride Center, and the Latina Center, the Black Student Center, all of these centers got on campus just because our president encourage them, but also because student voices were the ones pushing forward. We had students fighting for these centers, and that's how these centers got on campus. And we really want a president who would be receptive of student voices, so that anytime there's a student concern or the students are asking for something, that our voices are heard. And also, we have a campus that has a majority Latinx community of students. There's 42% of our students are Latinx. So we want a president that would be looking and promoting for a search of not just tenure faculty or tenure track faculty that represent us, but also lecturers that represent us. Because when we have lecturers and faculty members teaching our classes that we see ourselves in them, they're more approachable, and we can more easily go and form that close relationship with them because we know that they relate to us and they understand us, and we're more, they would just be more willing to help us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shanna Nolan, and I work here in Student Life and Leadership. And so I'm hoping that as you all are looking at candidates, that you consider ways that they will continue the work that President Haynes has done as far as fostering co-curricular learning. So much of what our students learn is outside the classroom through student organizations and fraternity and sorority life, ASI, among other things. And so I'm really hoping that our new president continues that legacy and really kind of starts to break down some of the silos that we find ourselves in still with academic affairs versus student affairs, and what are ways that we can kind of bridge those gaps and kind of partner more in co-curricular programming and fostering this environment that we're all one and that learning happens in and outside the classroom. And I really thank you all for your service and serving in this capacity. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir.
Hello, my name is Alan Stiles. I'm a professor of accounting. I first came to the university in 1998. I left in 2002, but I came back and I gave up other opportunities because I believed in this university, and I think that it adds a lot to the community. The tremendous amount of first-generation students here, we can actually make a difference. This university has made incredible difference to the local economic community and also beyond that, us and the region, and we still can do a lot more. I just wanted to talk a little bit about business and then some characteristics. You've heard from Dean Hammerly about the College of Business. We have worked very hard over the years to get to the state that we're at with the AACSB accreditation, which is a tremendous achievement for us. We need to have a strong relationship with the business community, and that needs a lot of support from high levels and ability to interact with and support us, sometimes doing things that are not popular at all different levels. We have to do what's best for the students and the business community and the community further. What I am very concerned about is that due to the small size of the college and the importance of the College of Business to the university, we have no representation on your committee whatsoever. We don't have a student representative, we don't have a faculty representative. What sort of message do you want to send to the business community with that? I'm asking you to add somebody from the business, the College of Business, faculty, administration, somebody. I think it's very important what you say through what you do to the business community, and that we should be included and the business community in that role. I want to second the comments earlier about financial awareness, comfortability, being comfortable with numbers, being comfortable about financial, making decisions. We've got a lot of funding challenges going on in California, and when a recession hits, it will probably be worse than it has been in the before. We need somebody at the helm who's not afraid to dig into the numbers and to be transparent with the numbers. Transparency is more than just releasing numbers. It's being able to, for people to see what is going on. We need somebody who's going to promote shared governance. This university has faculty that want to participate in the governance of the university. Many of us have expertise that can make the university better. If you have an administrator who does not want to share that governance, you are walking down the street with one leg tied behind the other. Embrace a president who wants to include and make this university what it's always been and can be more. We can do this together, but if you pick somebody that is a yes man to the Chancellor's office or somewhere else, you're sending a message and people will very quickly get the message. We need somebody who wants to come and represent this university and this university first.
Hello, I'm Kathy Bauer, Vice President for University Advancement, and I've been a part of this campus community for 10 years. First of all, I want to thank the committee for the work that you're about to undertake. It's a daunting task because I think, as you've heard this afternoon, we have very high expectations for this next president. I want you to find a president that embraces and encourages innovation, an individual that's not afraid to be a disruptor, as one of my colleagues says, and will challenge us to do more and be more, because that is our culture. A president that embraces change as much as we do as a campus. And proudly I can say that we're not a campus that's mired in decades of doing things one way, because that's the way it's always been done. We are a campus of risk takers, innovators and individuals willing to try something new and not afraid to fail, because we support each other. While we aren't afraid of change, I would hope that our next president will fully embrace and understand the importance of maintaining our values, as so many have said today. Those values of inclusion, innovation, integrity, community, and intellectual engagement. I would like to see someone who puts educational access as a top priority. I believe that commitment to access is what has helped Cal State San Marcos to flourish and has continued and cemented us in this region as of vital importance. Selfishly, I want a president that's committed to being an engaged member of this region and has a very visible presence. We need someone who is willing to invest and nurture in relationships that we have with our growing donor base. As we conclude our first comprehensive campaign, we have succeeded in achieving our defined goals. We have raised the presence of Cal State San Marcos in this region. We've succeeded in achieving, building a relationship and a culture of philanthropy on this campus, as Jack so exemplified with our Giving Day from yesterday. That's people coming together. That's students pledging dollars. Over 300 students gave on Giving Day. And also growing our donor base. We took on an audacious goal of a comprehensive campaign when no other university that we know of in the country was as young as we were, and we succeeded. So we need a new president that will take that on and take us to the next level. We need a strong communicator who understands and appreciates the importance of messaging and communication strategy. Finally, we need a president that is as passionate about Cal State San Marcos, as so many of us are, who will have a positive impact on our students as well as our region, and work to change both for the better. And I believe it's an imperative that the next president must have a great sense of humor, that they might find joy in being a president of Cal State San Marcos. The next president is going to be receiving a very special treasure. This campus is a true gem. It's a campus of caring and dedicated faculty, staff, and administrators. I'm confident that you will find someone worthy to take this on. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I know this is a daunting task. I'm Jennifer Milo. I'm the Director of Athletics, and I've been here since 2005. When I got here in 2005, we had a staff of 5, and that included administrators and coaches, and we had 70 student athletes. Our department has gone through tremendous growth in the last 12 years. We now have over 320 student athletes, a paid staff of 40, 70 volunteers, and we oversee 7 facilities. We just went through the daunting 12-year task of becoming an NCAA Division II member, and it took truly a village of probably everyone in this room to help us meet that accomplishment. And President Haynes was a huge part and support of that process. And it's important that we find a president that believes in the education that our student athletes get
on the playing fields in addition to the classroom. So it's important that this president buys into that and understands that our student athletes aren't here because they're being paid full ride scholarships. Our average scholarship is about $4,000. They're here to get an education, and they believe in what Cal State San Marcos provides for them. So thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Brenda Hall, and I have the good fortune of serving as the director for what's called the North County Professional Development Federation. It's a consortium of 28 school districts, Palomar and Miracosta Community Colleges, UCSD, and Cal State San Marcos. And this was founded by Cal State San Marcos 27 years ago now, and is part of the testament to the interest in this university and really reaching out to the community, in particular the K-12 community, the community colleges as well. And so we work on professional learning, K-16 altogether, which is a tremendous opportunity. So my hope for the next president is that that person will be equally committed to working collaboratively. I know one of the earlier presenters talked about the importance of working collaboratively with community colleges, I think, as well as K-12, and that really helps to ensure student success as they move across our systems. So again, I would hope that that foundational interest that we've seen from this university will be able to continue forward into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
Good afternoon. My name is Tony Pack. I'm had the rare privilege of being a member of the foundation board for about 3 years, in association with President Haynes for about 3 years. I hear the stories that have been presented here today about the wonderful things that this school does, that this university does. But where I get my knowledge is from talking to the students and hearing their stories, and I do that all the time. If I'm in the community and I see a young person, I always ask them, hey, where'd you go to school? And if I hear that he went to school here at Cal State, then I nail him. And I hear great, great stories about the families, the first time in their lives that they've first in their family to go to school, the military veterans that I work with at the Veterans Center. This is an extraordinary university, and I hope that you keep it so, and you go ahead and provide us with a new leader that has the enthusiasm and commitment that President Haynes has. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miyam, Natong Dr. Jolie Proudfit. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Jolie Proudfit. I'm the director of the California Indian Culture and Sovereignty Center here at Cal State San Marcos, and I'm the chair of American Indian Studies. I'm also a 3-time CSU tenured professor, both at San Francisco State, San Bernardino, and here. This is where I will retire. This is my homeland. This is the homeland of the Payanco-Wichum, the Luiseño people, if you didn't know that. Tukwit means mountain lion in our language. This president, President Karen Haynes, I have been serving her since 2005 while I was a tenured professor at another university, because she put together a Native Advisory Council 13 years ago that has met on a regular basis every year for 13 years. Because of that commitment to our tribal communities and our tribal students, we have become the campus that is continuously growing in its American Indian student population. When I started here 10 years ago, we had a 0.3 American Indian student population. We are now over 4%. That is the highest American Indian student population per capita of any university in the state of California. That is because of an intentional commitment to serve our Native peoples, our Native communities, and to work with our tribal nations. You are in the heart of Indian country. There are 18 reservations in San Diego County, about 35 tribes in driving distance, and so to have an intentional relationship and a tribal liaison, a full-time tribal liaison, we had the first full-time tribal liaison in the system, is critical. We need to continue that, but we need to strengthen that and support that with real resources. Our tribal nations are amongst the largest employers in the region and in the state, and as you heard earlier, 85% of our students stay in the region and work in the region. Our tribes employ all kinds of different people. And so it really makes a lot of sense for us to be educating our students for a 21st century workforce and making sure they have an understanding of tribal sovereignty. So expanding and supporting our curriculum programs that support our students' needs, all students, not just Native students, all students, like American Indian Studies. I wish I had a prepared statement, but I've been busy writing 17 new courses, and I'm the only tenured person or tenure track person in American Indian Studies, in the largest serving American Indian students supported institution in the state. So we really need to do more than just say diversity and equity. We need to do cluster hires. And we need to make sure that the faculty that we do hire and the staff that we do hire that are diverse represent the communities in which we serve, but we also need to make sure that we retain them and we support them. So we can't continue to do this work that we're doing alone or on our good graces. And our tribes in the region have been wonderful and have been very supportive. In fact, our center exists off of grants and foundational support, so our tribes have really stepped up. But we need both the state and the system to acknowledge the good work that we've done, especially with the hardest to reach and serve population. And we want to make sure that we find a president that continues the good work that this current president has done for so long and multiplies that. So I'm grateful that you have Butch Murphy from the Pechanga Band on the search committee as an educator and a leader. I know his voice is going to be critical to making sure that we have a good representative. Thank you. Nishan Lovick.
Hello, my name is Kealia Wolf. I'm a peer educator here at the Academic Success Center. I'm also a marketing specialist for the Dreamer Resource Office. So I hope the president understands and recognizes the needs and wants of undocumented students here at Cal State San Marcos. I also want to note on the language requirement that she noted on a few minutes ago, that it's no longer a requirement for some majors for students that are graduating. I just hope the president recognizes that students that are graduating from CSUSM attains a 2-year language requirement for their major. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Everyone on the committee and everyone here, my Cal State San Marcos colleagues and members and students. My name is Maria Chem, and I am the coordinator for the Dreamer Resource Office on campus. So my heart is beating really fast right now, but I'll go ahead and try to read what I have. So for the next president, what I would like to see is, you know, one of the really cool things about the Cal State system, and I graduated from Cal State Fullerton, is the fact that it is something that's supposed to be accessible to all students. Going into the Cal State system, it could be a pretty bumpy ride if you are a first-generation college student, if you are undocumented, if you have DACA, or if you're coming from a mixed status family. So what I would like to see and what the office would like to see is someone who understands that story and someone who's going to come on board to make it and for it to continue to be accessible. So not just getting into Cal State San Marcos, but once you're here, helping everyone be successful. Some of those challenges that students experience have to do with financial need, and those students who are completely undocumented don't have any access to institutionalized financial aid, so that becomes into a big obstacle. In the last 7 weeks that I've been here, most of the cases that I've helped students with have been the majority about financial aid and not being able to pay for tuition. So we are getting them in the door, but we need to keep them here. We need to help them graduate. So we could have a president that understands that experience. That would be great. The other one would be just understanding the fears of being a student, being a first-generation college student. That already has the challenges, and then you add another added layer of being undocumented. Sometimes you're scared to speak up, and it would be awesome if we have someone here who's supportive and open from the very beginning, letting them know that everyone here is welcome regardless of immigration status. Lastly, I want to say also a president who could recognize, oh, I'm going to cry a little bit, a president who could recognize how resilient all students are, because regardless of immigration status, thank you.
I'm the ambassador for the marketing specialist. So this is the new coordinator for those of you who don't know. This is Maria Chem. She just started. This is literally like her second month here.
Yeah.
So give her a round of applause because she's doing a great job.
You're so nice. Thank you. So definitely recognizing the potential that students have and how resilient, how much grit they have, because they're pushing through, they are determined, and sometimes you just need a little help to finish. And I'm talking about all students when I'm making that statement. Okay, and my very last sentence, just making sure that we have a president who is going to go full force with making sure that this is a safe community for everyone, because I want to say that's one of the biggest things, that regardless of who you are, regardless of your background, that's something that you need and that you want. And I do want to offer our space to everyone here. If you haven't come by and visit us, we are in Craven Hall, 4100J. Please stop by and say hello. As Kelly mentioned, we are a new space, and it has been pretty awesome being here, but it would be nice to see more faces coming in as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Meryl Goldberg, and I've been here for 25 years. I'm on the faculty of School of Arts, a musician along with Mtafidi, and I'm this year's CSU Wong Faculty Excellence Award winner. But it's a great bookend in a way with Maria, who just spoke, who's been here just a couple of months with me with 25 years. I would say the thing that's most wonderful about this campus is the resiliency of our students and their empathy and compassion, their willingness to really step up to the plate under circumstances that are often really challenging. And I'd like to speak to something slightly different than what a lot of people have been speaking to. I'd like to speak to personal qualities. I would really like to see a president who, if not is a professional arts person, has experience playing an instrument or doing painting, or is really great at dancing. And with a nod towards our colleagues in athletics, heck, if they're not really great at dancing or art, I hope that they have played a team sport. And I say that in all sincerity, because people who are engaged in the arts and athletics especially have the grit, have the resiliency, know how to problem solve, know how to think outside the box, have worked well with each other if they've attained a level of excellence in their field. So I really want someone who has shown a passion in something that they have done, has come to this campus with additional skills outside of perhaps their own area of expertise, and who have that commitment and background, and who've, in addition to that, the excellence in a discipline, who've experienced some sense of social activism and have shown that in what they've done. And again, I can't repeat enough that I think, especially on our campus, but in light of the world and what we need, a sense of compassion and empathy and a real emphasis on those, and understanding that that's where our students are as well. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Pam Colbury. I'm from the School of Nursing in the College of Health and Education, Health and Human Services. And I've been here for 12 years. I was one of the founding faculty of the School of Nursing. And I want to echo a little bit about what Meryl said. And my interests in the characteristics of a president are probably mostly what I've experienced. And that is a tremendous relational ability to talk to anyone at any place in a hallway and to know who faculty are, who students are, who's visible, who's present, who's inspiring, and who's positive. When we went into the downturn, what was it, 2007, there would be much cause for gnashing of teeth and depression. And I remember how positive she was about how we would get through that time. And then when there might be opportunities to be discouraged with someone else's behavior or position, she would always say, assume good intent. I really would like to see us have someone who knows all of this great knowledge, can do all of these great things, but is tremendously relational, because in our college, our partners, just like in the College of Business, are so important, and someone who can talk and speak to those partners and with those partners to encourage those partners to be part of our university is very important. Our accreditors, to be able to have relationships with them, because our president will meet with them, is extremely important. And our experience with EL, extended learning, and how far they reach into the community and bring the community to us and bring programs that create access, is based on relationships. So I would ask, I guess it is for the soft skills, but I agree with Meryl, if they can play sports and create things with paint, they should be able to work well with others in the sandbox, and that's what I'm looking for.
Hello everyone, my name is Gabrielle Garcia. I'm a Communications and Women's Studies student here at San Marcos, and I would like to just voice some concerns. Although our campus has been growing and changing in size, unfortunately we have not seen much change in student to faculty demographic ratio. Although our academia comes first, in order for a student to perform to their best of their ability, an empathetic president is imperative for change in mental health among all students. As a campus that claims diversity, leveling the playing field for or being a more equitable is something important I would like to see. Additionally, representation matters. A president that allies with students to strive for a better campus experience is extremely important. With that being said, I would like to see a president who advocates and changes the representation of professors that truly reflects the campus ethnic and racial demographics. In conclusion, our campus is majority people of color and women. I would like to see that more in the professors who are teaching me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stefania Fredicelli. I'm the sustainability representative for all 17,000 students on campus. I'm also the Sustainability Club president, and I've been working very closely with sustainability efforts on campus. Makes me more nervous. So I just wanted to bring light onto sustainability efforts and climate change and environmental justice, especially in campus, and especially within our political climate as of now. The current administration is pushing back on climate change efforts. And I'd really like if we had more recognition on climate change and environmental justice. My family in Puerto Rico is not doing well. And that's because the current administration is not giving them light.
Would somebody give her a hug, please? It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you're killing it. Thank you. The current administration is doing a horrible job in giving light to those who are affected by terrible natural disasters that is beyond our control, but they're not giving any proper resources. And I'd really like a president who advocates for environmental justice and social change, as well as sustainability efforts on campus. And I'd really like for more student advocacy in return, as well as a president who believes that environmental justice is an extremely valuable concept within the university and America in itself. So thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Jim Flores. I'm the president and CEO of the San Diego and North County Food Bank. North County Food Bank right across the freeway from the campus. We work very closely with the administration and students in setting up your first food pantry, which we have actually done on pretty much every college campus throughout the region.
Can I just say thank you for that? You have done a
thank you.
fantastic
Thank you.
job.
Food insecurity is a tremendous problem on college campuses across the United States. We estimate about 40% of college students are food insecure. At our very core we believe that education is the major vehicle to break the cycle of poverty. And I think students who are hard-pressed to choose between books and food are going to be able to have a successful academic outcome. So you know what I'm saying next. We're just hoping that the next president embraces this most basic need. Thank you very much.
Hello. My name is Michael McDuffie. I'm chair of the philosophy department. I'm a past academic senate chair on this campus. I'm a past associate dean of the College of Arts and Sciences back in the day. I've been here since 1996. I figure I got another decade or so left in me. So that's why I'm here today. I want to thank you all for the time and the effort and the consideration that you're giving to our campus. The task that you face is not easy. I think you can tell from the voices that you've heard today how proud we are of our campus, and I'm so very proud to be among those voices myself for such a long time. I was here when President Haynes joined us. I think one reason that she was successful in working with us as a campus, faculty, students, and staff, as well as fellow administrators, is that she took the time to listen to us and to get to know us and to hear us and find out what we were good at and what we hoped to be when we grew up. And then she helped us within the framework of those aspirations. She didn't ask us immediately to rewrite our mission, vision, and values. We had been through that exercise already quite recently. Instead, she met us where we are, where we were, and she worked with us there. She talked with us. Others today have spoken to the value of relationships, of communication, of taking the time to find out who we are, what our vision is, what our values are, what we take to be our mission. It's imperative that our next leader knows our students, understands the challenges that they face as they have voiced them so eloquently today, and there are more. But above all that, their hopes and what this place means to them. I've taught at fancy places. I won't name names. But the students I teach here, in talent and in commitment, are equal to any I have ever met in my career. And this place is their Ivy League. It's what we built for them. Our next leader, I hope, will have the political skill and the political wisdom to come and talk to us, all of us, students, faculty, staff, administrators. Learn our hopes, learn our aspirations, find out what we value, and help us get to where we get to from here. Our next leader will fail if she or he cannot come here and immediately get to know us, strike up relationships, work with us, and figure out what our next moves are. We have to move quickly as an institution, and we have to do so together. I teach medical ethics. The oldest rule in the book is, first, do no harm. I would look for a university president. Following the same criteria, I would look for a new physician. I get more and more skill at this as I get older, picking physicians. More practice. I want somebody who can give me a quick overall assessment, see me as a whole person, physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, and take my measure, quick as possible. I want somebody who can listen to me and understand what's important to me in my treatment and my flourishing. And then I want somebody who can work with me, who has the communication skills to teach me their expertise and take me to the next level of understanding so I can take my strengths and build upon them and correct my weaknesses and face the challenges in front of me as a patient with confidence and hope and all the good medicine I need to take care of me as long as possible. So, I hope you find somebody who can do all of those things and take good care of us and get really, really excited with us. You sense the excitement in one of my newest colleagues here. You sense the excitement in us old-timers. We're still excited. As a former associate dean of my college once said, the fun isn't over yet. The next president, if she or he is successful, will take us from 17,000 students to 25,000, from this physical plant to 3 or 4 more buildings. We're going to get there, and we need that individual's help. Thank you for helping us find that leader.
Hi, my name is Faith Garcia. I'm one of 4 CHABS representatives in the Associated Students Corporation. Since a lot of people touched on food insecurity, I just want to say I would really like a president that helps us fight housing insecurity as well. Housing here is actually really expensive. Just to dorm with someone, it's almost $1,000, and the community has actually limited like free spaces of parking to 2-hour limits, so that's also difficult for students who like have to sleep in their car. Thankfully, ASI has created our library to be open 24 hours, 5 days a week, but that's still not enough for the other 2 days that students aren't able to stay in the library at a safe space. So having a president that understands those needs that the students need here is really important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Ensalada. I'm the Associate Director of the Latina Latinx Center here on campus. And first, I want to thank you all for taking this very important and monumental task of finding our new president. So as one of the representatives of the identity centers here on campus, I think it's important for our next president to really understand the unique college experiences that our students faced on campus, and particularly our students of color and also those who come from underrepresented communities. Our students are oftentimes countered with things such as microaggressions, social injustices. A lot of my colleagues mentioned food insecurities, financial strains. I think a new president needs to understand, really be multiculturally aware how this impacts the college experience of our students of color and people who come from underrepresented communities, but ultimately how that impacts their success here on campus. So as a new president that's coming in, I'm looking for somebody who's willing to not only understand and acknowledge those unique experiences of our students, but at the same time providing inclusive pathways to success for those individuals, creating projects, initiatives that really values that. And at the forefront, really looking at student voices and student advocacy for that, looking at the intersectionalities and cross-cultural values of our communities here on campus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Judith Hershko. I'm Chair of Art, Media, and Design in the College of Humanities, Arts, Behavioral, and Social Sciences. And I'm here to reinforce some of the things I've heard, for example, from one of the early speakers, Kim Noll-Zianes, about the necessity of the academic part of our mission to be adequately funded, and for the importance of thinking about addressing the large issues of our century, the 21st, including changes in technology which require ethical and holistic view of what it means to be human and what we as humans do with the tools that we create, and where those tools take us psychologically and on a larger scale, and the importance of various disciplines, the humanities and the arts included, in addressing critical thinking and a creative approach to how to address these problems, and to be critical, wise, and holistic thinkers about how we use those tools to remain human for the next century and beyond. And so I would like to make a huge plug for the arts and humanities and their roles in making us thinkers that are that can meet that challenge. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lourdes Shahamiri. I've been here for 27 years, and I had the pleasure of serving with Ms. Farrar in the previous search. I understand how much work is involved, and I thank you because I know you will find the best leader for our campus. Rather than give you what I want to tell you some observations that I've seen over the past 27 years. The leaders that have come, they've all had special characteristics that served us well during each stage of the campus development. We need a leader for the next stage of our development, someone who has empathy, someone who's a visionary, someone who enjoys being on campus, being visible, and also that is passionate about social justice. That's very important to all of us. We're a team. We need a cheerleader that tells at the end of the year what all of us have done as a collective group. I enjoy my work very much. I love my colleagues, and this is a terrific campus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Anta. I hope everyone in the room is doing well. I come from interdisciplinary backgrounds and are part of various organizations and entities, a part of this institution that fight for social justice. I would like there to be a president that supports non-traditional student backgrounds, whether that be in programs, campus, and community engagements, staff and faculty hiring, scholar activist work, and many more entities where this fits. As a student who will be graduating from this institution, I've experienced and seen the barriers that have been set up for myself and marginalized individuals to not succeed. To support this would have higher retention and graduation rates as attraction to the non-traditional students. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Malik Ismail, the Director of Housing and Residential Education. I've been here on campus for 2 years, but I've worked in the field for well over 20. I've been through this process at other institutions, and so one of the things I think is important moving forward, as our campus continues to grow, I'd want a president that would also want to support the continued growth of housing and residential education on campus. National research shows that students who live on campus, at least in their first year, and there's research that's growing regarding students living on campus in their second year as well, do perform better academically. In my 2 years here, I've made it kind of one of my goals and missions is to continue to grow our residential education program, to support the co-curricular, our co-curricular model on campus, and wanting to support the graduation initiative to help our students graduate in a more timely fashion. So I would like a president that will support the growth of housing on campus with adding additional bed spaces, adding a dining program. I know that students talk about housing and food insecurity. We can provide that safe and secure space for students. We're in the process now of talking about the development of a dining program for our campus that can help tackle food insecurity on campus as well. So that would be one of the things I would hope a new president would support. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Juliana Goodlaw-Morris. I'm the Sustainability Manager here on campus, and I want to echo some of the stuff that Estefania had said earlier. First, I want to thank you, though, for taking on this task of finding us a new president. Appreciate it. So sustainability touches pretty much everything here on campus, and I want a new president to understand that sustainability touches academics, it touches operations, it touches the Basic Needs Initiative, the Graduation Initiative, and everything else on campus, and that we can do this holistically. We can be a leader within sustainability in the CSU and nationally, here in California as well, and we just need a president to help push us along. That the program is in its infancy. I've been here for 4 years and started the program, and the resources need to be there, and the support needs to be there from the upper administration. I think that many times it ends up becoming this abstract notion, so to speak, and it really touches everything. If we're graduating students into this next generation of the world that we live in, there's only one planet, right? So we need those students to understand that no matter if they're a business major or a nursing major or a teacher, they need to go out into the world understanding how sustainability is going to help them in the future. So I urge you to think of that with the new president. Thank you.
Sir? Good afternoon. My name is Frank Foster, and I am honored to serve on the University Council as well as a few others that spoke earlier. I'm a retired businessman some time ago, and now I am honored and blessed to spend my time in the nonprofit world working with at-risk youth. In my entire career, I embrace change, sometimes quite radical. Today, I'm here to talk about consistency. There are 75,000 families along the I-78 corridor living below the poverty line, and some so far below the poverty line, it's frightening. What we know is that poverty can tend to become generational. It's quite easy to do that. And the way out is through education. And what I so appreciate about this university, what I love about this university, is Dr. Haynes' deliberate strategy of reaching out to first-generation students, getting them into the university, and then through all the efforts of the professors and planning and so forth and so on, helping these kids to stay here and to graduate. And what we know is that over 50% of the graduates here are first-generation graduates, and that they stay in the community. And that's how poverty in a community changes. So my wish is that the president that you select will continue that strategy and continue to change lives and to change community. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Alyssa Sepinwall. I'm a professor in history here. I'm in my 20th year, and I'm a past winner of the university's Breakable Award, which is given each year to the outstanding professor. I want to thank you very much for asking us our thoughts. I know this must be overwhelming for you. We're giving you a very long list. So I want to say, even though I'm going to add to it, I don't expect perfection. I admire President Haynes very much. I think she's been the best president since I've been here. It doesn't mean that I've agreed with her all of the time. But if we can get someone like her who I think has a good heart and has many good qualities, that would be wonderful. The two things that I want to speak to is I really want to see someone who recognizes and takes the time to learn what is special about us, that we're not just like every other CSU, and will help us preserve and build on that. And second, someone who is going to be a good moral leader. So the first part, what's special about us? One thing, not every CSU is the same. We've had the freedom to kind of build our work arrangements so that we're still efficient, while we can still have what we've long cherished here, which is the teacher-scholar model. One reason that Merrill Goldberg won the Wangies this year, Christine Diekman and Keith Trujillo one of the last few years, is we have an excellent faculty who do research, who teach students passionately, do important things in their field, and make their students excited. That helps us bring excitement to students, and I just want to note that I feel especially proud that two of the students who've come up to the microphone have been students who I had 3 years ago when they were first semester freshmen, Celeste and Brittany, who was just in front of us. And we try to empower students and help them gain their voice and all of these things. And we're able to do that with the work arrangements that we've been able to develop over the years at CSUSM, which are not exactly the same at other places. In the past, there have occasionally been times where we heard, maybe 20 years ago, that people thought that here the inmates were running the asylum. That's what they said. They meant the faculty and that people had to come in and break us and make us just like every other place. And that's something that we've resisted, and to our credit, Dr. Haynes has helped us build on that and support faculty excellence and help CSUSM really become a jewel in the system. So I think it's really important that we have someone who wants to support us and is here to help preserve what's special. The second thing is someone who's a moral leader. There are a lot of important things that people have raised, and of course action is very important, and people often say that action is more important than words. But words are important too, and one of the things that I've really valued about President Haynes, and I think makes her different from many other university presidents, is that when a crisis happens, when we have students on campus who are dealing with the fact that DACA seems to have been revoked, or we have attacks on campus, that she has come out and with her passion and values for social justice as a social worker has spoken very eloquently about the values that we hold as a campus. As someone who works for the state, I know she has to have a balance between not veering too far into partisanship, and she's done a wonderful job of that. But I think it's been great for CSUSM and for the community to have this wonderful leader who articulates our values and tries to make people feel safe and heard. So thank you very much.
My name is Bulapon Natipakoncha. I'm from the School of Nursing, assistant professor. This is my only first year, over a year, came last fall. I want a new president who recognizes and can support Temecula campus. We have to remember that we have Temecula Extension campus, where we have a big chunk of nursing students. We have an accelerated nursing program over there. And there's a lot of staff and faculty that needed supported by the main university. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Konani Martinez, and I'm the chair of the anthropology department and associate professor as well. And we're within the College of Humanities, Behavioral, Social Sciences, and Arts, which is the biggest college on campus, and we serve the most amount of students and the most amount of classes. I just wanted to again, echo my colleagues and students here in a few things, and I'm going to frame it instead of a wish list, more of a minimum qualifications discussion, because I've written a lot of job descriptions over the years, and there's always the minimum qualifications and the preferred qualifications. And so, as you've learned already, these in this case would be demonstrated experience in diversity and inclusion, supporting first-generation students, building partnerships with local communities, and finally, one that's near and dear to our college would be a commitment and value for a liberal arts education as fundamental and foundational for the success of our students, not only in the workplace, but as citizens and global citizens, the challenges that they face currently. And finally, I do want to also encourage this process to include campus visits by the finalist candidates, because the campus community really wants to be able to meet on our campus any finalists for this search, because it's something that we feel is important to us to have the interaction and to meet potential candidates. So thank you.
How's it going? My name is Nick Brown. I'm the student representative for the College of Business Administration. And I just want to point out a couple characteristics I think I would want to see in a president, as long as my constituents. The first one's vision. The second is a lot of energy. And the third one's charismatic. And then the last one's leadership. And to me, my definition of leadership is the ability to motivate a group of people towards one common goal. So I think in this next president, we need a president that will motivate every single campus entity to reach their vision. Next, President Haynes actually did a really good job of communicating and reaching out to all the students. We got to go to her house and have dinner, and one thing she told me was, one thing I'm really proud of is she's built one building a year for the past 10 years. So the next president, I think, is going to be very important for that person to be aware of the strategic financial decisions they make and how they impact students. One of the biggest concerns of students is parking, and that the parking structure wasn't funded by the state, and each student has to pay $650 a year for parking because of the lack of state funding. So I think a president that is fiscally aware of his or her decisions is very important, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle Tran. I'm the Vice President of Student and University Affairs for ASI, as well as Nick. He just came up there, so I'm just going to echo some of the points that he had brought up. Holistic wellness is one of our main goals this academic year, and that we understand student success is very necessary both in and outside of the classroom, and this relationship is very important for the well-being of most CSUSM students. And our past accomplishments within ASI have been the establishment of the 24/5 zone within the library and the Cougar Pantry being its own entity this year. And we're glad that we have systematic support at the CSU level for holistic wellness, as well as the establishment of the Graduation Initiative 2025. However, with the continuing growth of the campus, the future trajectory of our campus efforts should include sustaining the needs of our students on a comprehensive level beyond just legislative and vocal support for holistic wellness. That includes making sure that our spaces for anything in relation to holistic wellness, whether it's the campus rec or the Cougar Pantry or the Health and Wellness Center, that these areas on campus should have some sort of strategic plan for the future, especially when we want to think about the sustaining growth of more enrollment of students for the long term for CSUSM. Sorry, I'm really wordy. But lastly, we want to ensure that any efforts towards holistic needs for our students are done so in a fiscally responsible manner, in a way that's transparent, and in a way that it's a collaborative effort with all campus partners on our campus. So, thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra Hernandez. I am here at Cal State, double majoring in criminology and psychology. In our next president, I would like to see them emotionally intelligent, and I would also like them to support international education. I would also like them to support Project Rebound. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Samantha Caracciolo. In light of the ACES Women's in Leadership Conference held this past October recognizing women leaders in higher education, at CSUSM I have experienced the disappearance of the Women's Center and the Women's Studies major. I am asking for a president who will stand with women, a women's space, and the discipline of women's studies, as the naming of women in all forms combines the conversations we have on campus. We should be able to become the subject instead of the object in our own academics. Instead of focusing on only the sexual violence perpetuated against women on this campus, which we largely need to defend in a much more critical way, we should be providing a space and discipline for women to be more than that, to be leaders, to reach a fulfillment of empowerment, and to be those future leaders in higher education we have talked about as a CSU. This can only happen if we have a president who will defend and stand up for centers and the discipline of women's studies. There's something very important in specifically naming individualized support. To not do this is to generalize an entire population of students who have different stories and very different experiences that they have brought to CSUSM. This does a huge disservice to these students who have unique qualities as every student brings. It is important to have a president who will stand in specific solidarity with their students.
Thank you. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
I think you should take language classes with us. Thank you for being here. I am Michelle Ramos Pellicia, and I am an associate professor. I'm an associate professor in the Modern Language Studies department, and I've been told, before coming here, that I didn't belong here, right, as in academia. So let me start with that. I am also, among other things, I am also the chair of the University Without Borders, which is a subcommittee of the Executive Committee of Academic Senate that work towards creating change among our faculty members so that we can better serve our DACA AB 540 undocumented students and students from mixed status families. And I am here today because I would like to see our new president pushing in the direction that President Haynes has initiated that push, right? We are one of those few CSU campuses that has an office, not a center, an office that is called the Dreamer Resource Office. And that is great. It's only a start, right? We also have student groups, STAN, for instance, that work on behalf of our undocumented students. And we have University Without Borders. Why I'm mentioning all this? Because we need this new president has to push us in that direction. We cannot emphasize enough, and we cannot disregard the fact that we are in the borderlands. We cannot disregard the fact of what is happening in the borderlands, right at the border with our neighbors in the south. Neighbors in the south, okay? And these are our students who are crossing, students who are here, students who have different status of immigration. I, for one, I feel sometimes I'm not from this land, even though I have the citizenship. I come from Puerto Rico, and we are reminded over and over again that we don't belong. And sometimes, I don't feel like I belong. Well, I never feel I belong here. But we have students who are reminded because of microaggressions, because we are not, we don't know exactly what being an ally entails. So this new president, I will ask of them to be very mindful and very respectful and help us, faculty members, to work towards tangible actions to better support our students, but particularly our undocumented AB 540, DACA, and mixed status families, to create spaces for dialogue, but spaces that go beyond dialogue and action, not dialogue with more dialogue and more obstacles. I want the support as a faculty member to be able to understand the plight of my students, of all my students. I'm paying my cultural taxation as a person of color, as a woman of color, but I need support to do that. I need to do research, I need to prepare for my classes, but I need to pay back to my community. And that community is partly encompassing our students. I would like to seek clarification on how SB 54 and AB 21 are going to be implemented on our campus. And lastly, I want to point out the need that we have to dedicate time and effort to service our students impacted and misunderstood because of mental illnesses. Counselors are greatly needed, and they need our support as well. We should be trailblazers in our region. Our new president should be leading us in that change, and we should be pushing, as you can see in the last almost 2 hours of our discussion. We are pushing towards that push. We need to be models in our region, and we want to see the change that we want to see. We have to model it in our borderlands and within the CSU system and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello? Okay. Hi, my name is Michael Jones. I'm a sociology major here at Cal State San Marcos. So as a fellow veteran, as a fellow Marine Corps veteran, a veteran student representative, and a peer educator for the Hope and Wellness Center for Mental Health, I believe that we are not providing sufficient emphasis upon how important it is to have systems of support throughout the entirety of a veteran's academic experiences. Unfortunate circumstances for America's veterans include various mental health illnesses, the disproportionate trends of those who have succumbed to suicide, and the negligence for quality of care throughout the VA system. Thus, as others have mentioned here today, we need a president that supports projects to generate greater presence within and around the community that includes military bases and veteran support networks around North County. As a result, these outlets will ensure that military service members are mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially transitioned before, during, and after service for overall success here at CSUSM. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello there again. We need a president who will be listening to students at large and not just students who are holding positions in student government. So I'd like to see that in the future for a president who's going to be candidate.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Paulette Cruz. I am a student representative for the College of Education, Health, and Human Services, as well as a fourth year. I just want to ask that you pick a president that will be engaging with the community and be visible. By that I mean that they're willing to take time of their busy schedule that I am sure they have in order to engage with the community and get to meet students in order to create a relationship. Because I feel like if, as a student, you don't know who your president is or what they do, that can create a conflict of finding a home here at Cal State San Marcos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tony Olivas. I'm the Interim Engagement and Inclusion Librarian. And I think it's really important that we have a president who understands the importance of the library on a campus community, especially our campus community. We need somebody who will continue to support CALM initiatives to help students financially, open access, and also fight for funding that will allow our library to grow with the student population and their research needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Sitting up here, I can only say that this has been a remarkable experience. I want to thank each and every individual who spoke. I want to thank each and every individual who sat with us to listen. I think we really heard some extraordinary thoughts and emotions and ideas. And I think we heard it from every part of your community, from students, from faculty, from staff, from the community at large. This is a great university. This is a great university. I hope two things. I hope Karen Haynes is watching this. And if she isn't watching this, she can watch it in the archive. And I hope your next president will watch this, because then they will understand, or begin to understand, who you are, your aspirations, your passions, your intellect, and your amazing, amazing ability to care about each other, support each other, and build a community that makes a great university. Thank you. We have a very tough job to do. But because of what you have shared with us, we'll do our very best. Thank you very much.